you can't hide. Talking all that trash, it's got your tongue tied. We king in the window, we'll start till we're finished. You better be ready to throw down. Calling us nameless, I'm missing the papers, and we find our way cause we know how. You get it twisted, we doing our business, they're chanting our names and it's so loud. Better believe it, we can't be defeated, no way. We are the heroes, we're talking legend. Won't back down until our hands are to the heavens. Heroes, we're talking legends. Won't back down until our hands are to the heavens. Can't stop us when we go in. Kings and queens are folding. There's something in our touch. Feel the rush, yeah, we're golden. Sending out a message, leave them in the wreckage. Unbreakable, powerful, forces not to mess with. We keep it a win, we'll fight till we're finished. You better be ready to throw down. Calling us famous, I'm losing the papers, and we find our way cause we know how. You get it twisted, we doing our business, they're chanting our names and it's so loud. Better believe it, we can't be defeated, no way. We are the heroes, we're talking legend. Won't back down until our hands are to the heavens. Heroes, we're talking legends. Won't back down until our hands are to the heavens. We are the heroes, we're talking legend. Won't back down until our hands are to the heavens. Heroes, we're talking legends. Won't back down until our hands are to the heavens.
Brick and mortar, blood and water, going harder. Fire starter, freaking nature, minor major, never falter. There's a rumble in the jungle, I ain't running for my life. They say winners never quit, cause how else would I get the prize? See the trophy, yeah I won it. They can't wait to reach the summit, they can't even see it coming. This ain't a threat, it's a promise. I've been floating like a butterfly, that's word up to Muhammad. Time for blowing up atomic, hey yeah.
That's how you know I'm a fighter. I push through the pain, rise from the flames. That's how you know I'm a fighter. You won't see me quit, no I'm not giving in. That's how you know I'm a fighter. Fighter. Fighter.
I can feel the desperation, all my dogs can smell the fear. If you ain't ready for the belly, why you even coming here? They've been waiting for the end before the game even begins. And I've been fighting for my soul, for my family, for my friends. I ain't never giving up, cause every day this world spins. And every day that clock ticks, till we're all gone with a win. Now I'm taking off these gloves, it's too late to play pretend. They might try to knock me out, but I'ma win.
That's how you know I'm a fighter. I push through the pain, rise from the flames. That's how you know I'm a fighter. You won't see me quit, no I'm not giving in. That's how you know I'm a fighter. 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 Fighter.
Even though I might get down, they ain't getting in my way. Even though I might get down, they ain't getting in my way. Even though I might get down, they ain't getting in my way. They ain't getting in my way, nah. Even though I might get down, they ain't getting in my way. Even though I might get down, they ain't getting in my way. Even though I might get down, they ain't getting in my way. They ain't getting in my way, nah.
Fighter. I push through the pain, rise from the flames. That's how you know I'm a fighter. You won't see me quit, no I'm not giving in. That's how you know I'm a fighter. I push through the pain, rise from the flames. That's how you know I'm a fighter. You won't see me quit, no I'm not giving in. That's how you know I'm a fighter. 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 Fighter.
are being presented with a choice, evolve or remain. If you choose to remain unchanged, you will be presented with the same challenges, the same routine, the same storms, the same situations until you learn from them, until you love yourself enough to say no more, until you choose change. If you choose to evolve, you will connect with the strength within you. You will explore what lies outside the comfort zone. You will awaken to love. You will become. You will be. You have everything you need. Choose to evolve. Choose love. Welcome. I'm Alisha Quinn, and today we are going to be talking about healing, trauma, trauma triggers, and being healed. And so going on this awakening journey and awakening to, healing from all the traumas, and that the outside world is nothing more than a reflection of me and us as a whole, as collective. And so I have gone through a whole lot of stuff in my life. Trauma would be considered trauma. But I pushed through the pain and I am winning. So, there's the, sexual trauma that I had when I was a child that I pretty much used Ronald for to work on my healing with that. Just kind of, went through that and let go, let go of it. And then there was all the stuff from Robert yelling and screaming and those things. And that was very just on edge, really. It's like walking on eggshells, really, because you just don't know if they're going to be flipping out over something. And then you're in this reactive, kind of abusive kind of situation. So then you're yelling and screaming and stuff. And it is just so damaging doing that. And even as I went down, we had counselors and stuff, and my daughter's counselor and I were talking about stuff, and it's just kind of like I was just kind of coming to this point, and I was raised and stuff where, if you said the wrong thing or whatever, that there might be some yelling and screaming and flipping out, or just over little things, really. And so I really had come to this point of like spilt milk. Why flip out over it? All you gotta do is clean it up. And I talked to this counselor about it, and she said that, for one, that her grandmother had gotten a broken nose over spilt milk. And then she also talked about the fact that she was a mandated reporter for like physical type abuse or situations, but that went with her wherever she went. So if she was, even off the job and in public, she's mandated to report such things. But she said what she saw more than anything was the way that people were talking to their children and, just degrading them, berating them, really, And I too have to admit that I have been guilty of such things as well. That, it's just a cycle that we continue to go through, but really becoming, self-aware of those things and making those changes for sure. And I had to come to a point to let go of the regret, because it's just one of those things of forgiving, myself for not knowing what I was doing, but becoming aware of this. I had to change myself and go through, healing and healing myself and change and making a change within me as well. Because when I'm yelling and screaming, it's hurting me too, a lot. And so I went through a journey and a process, especially after I read the book, especially with my children. And I never felt really good about spanking my children like the church promotes and stuff, getting obedience by any means necessary. I never felt really good about doing those things. And then, there's timeout and, your kid's not sitting there, you're yelling and screaming at them to sit there and these kind of things. And it just, as I go through and that everything's a and vibration and uh, frequency, I really started questioning these things like, this just can't be a good thing to be spanking my children. It doesn't make me feel good. And, these types of things. And so after I left my former husband and I start like trying to go down a different road than that whole thing, I ended up getting a book called No Drama Discipline. It was a great book to read. And then I also got directed to positive discipline, which really took this concept of really like dealing with the problems, compromising, communicating type, you know, stuff. And, pretty much not being such a rigid dictator and, compromising on things, working together. And also, the positive discipline really talked about like really controlling yourself and even walking away. And so I really went through this process of stopping those type behaviors from myself. I did some pretty nasty things that I don't like that person who I was, but you know, just becoming self-aware that I had to change. And so again, letting go of the regret and forgiving myself because we're you're being told and taught to do things one way because that's how people have just done things. But then you come to realize that it is emotional abuse. It is spiritual abuse. Putting people in fear, putting your children in fear, putting other people where their emotions, is it messes with your nervous system when people are yelling and screaming and flipping out over shit. It does. And so as I go down that, journey of me changing, that it was like, okay, one of the things that positive discipline really said was walk away. You walk away. And like if you had even like a young child who is, you can't be centered with yourself pretty much, that you can always go to the bathroom or, lock yourself in there kind of thing and just kind of get away from the situation so you can be gathered and in control of yourself. Be calm. really, while dealing with the situation. And so I really went through that process of changing, that I would even find myself where I was yelling at my kid, and I had this little voice saying, Alicia, go to your room, go to your room. And so I really did go through a process of changing that behavior of my own yelling and screaming and things. And it's just reactive responses, reactive abuse, that we really get trapped into these cycles. Your parents did it, you start doing it, and it just continues on. And so I went through that, and even having like issues with things my daughter wasn't doing, and just being reactive about those things. And so those were things that I truly did have to change. And then as I went through having this separation from my children, which truly gave me a chance to really face myself and those things that I did need to change. And, even, but anyhow, going through that process and seeing how the yelling and the screaming and the flipping out was a trauma trigger for me, that I had to see that. And backing up a little bit, that when I went through my man review and looked at the podcaster, I had come to see that I had a trauma trigger because of the Bible and how manipulated I was with the Bible. And so, really, we have these narcissists running the world, government telling you what to do, religion telling you what to do, and have us in this reactive abusive thing. It goes right into the home. Oh, get obedience by any means necessary, be a dictator. And we are definitely here for a change to break free from those old belief systems, those old programmings, for sure. And uh so I come to see, just like even walking on eggshells. And I even came to see like having, um, being so overly concerned about how clean the house is, and these type of things. And so I really went through a process of just doing being responsible for myself. And I've even, come to a point of like not keeping score, kind of thing, that has been brought to my attention as well. Like, who cares if you take out the garbage another time, you know, and those kind of things. So really, what is truly important? Is it that you have your kid cleaning your house top to bottom? How do you think that makes them feel? You know? Or working together as a team and saying, okay, we all have our little parts to do, and we're working together to do this. And not being so rigid about it. And, just coming to having that safety in the environment of not walking on eggshells, not, you know, coming home and I see that my kid left dishes in the sink and flipping out over it, because not only is that emotional abuse towards her, it's abusing myself as well. And so that's what I really had to come to find. So going through this process of healing and being self-aware and truly making those changes to be center and be calm, and that, hey, you know what? If I'm in this situation where I can't speak calmly and reasonably, and that there's just like this arguing kind of going back, that is not the time to talk. And being aware of that and taking that break until you can get more centered and calm and balanced and coming back around to where, okay, this is how I feel, and being open to hearing how they feel, and then coming, to a conclusion. And by me going through the things that I've gone through and the healing and stuff, it helps me to be a much better mom, better, a calmer, creating a safe environment. And that is truly what I came here to do, was making this change, because even though my children experienced some of those negative things and those negative behaviors, and the trying to get obedience from them and spanking and stuff, they also do see the changes that they can, and I'm sure that they will make on their own journey as well. So truly, healing from those things, and healing from the narcissistic abuse stuff, because it is reactive, and even controlling. And so that is really something that I have come to, is that control is just an illusion. So, a lot of times what I have come to discover is that it is truly just my own problem. Like, if things aren't getting picked up in my house the way I want them to, it's my problem. And so I have a choice to yell and scream and flip out over it, or, set some reasonable boundaries. We come up with a solution. Hey, if you don't have your stuff picked up, we're going to have a box, and I'm going to pick it up and put it in there, and then you don't get it for, until a certain day. So, there's reasonable things, but really what I have come to discover is that it's me, and that it hurts me more than anything. If I'm irritated, if I'm yelling and screaming, it does have an abusive thing towards my children, but it also hurts me. And so coming to really see those trauma triggers and things like that, that we can protect ourselves energetically, because as you change and you heal and you change your frequency and your vibration, those people just don't come around. You'll see them for one, and there comes a point of choosing to have people like that in your life or not. And so, especially if people aren't willing to grow and change and things, that sometimes you are in a situation where you just have to let them go, so that you can move forward on your journey, because your vibration, it will change. And truly, as you become more self-aware of yourself and interconnect and things, that you can see the other stuff, you can see those behaviors and things. And so, even some of the other energies of whining and complaining about life and things. You end up seeing it. So everybody has it within them to heal from those low energies and the traumas that they have gone through. And from my awareness, that when you hold on to that stuff and you don't let it go and you don't forgive, you carry it into another life. And so I let go of the stuff. I forgive them because truly I do know that they were only a product of their own environment. And when you do have trauma, you are so hurt inside of yourself, and we end up reaching out to all these other different things to escape reality, escape facing ourselves in our inner work and things, that we turn to, food and drugs and sex and fantasies, even, fantasies that you have in your mind, watching TV and movies, all these different outside things, even including religion and government, are truly just a fantasy type thing that we are looking at to help save us from ourselves. And well, for me and my experience, they weren't doing anything but making things worse. So let those go. So anyhow, I deal with myself. I deal with being back in my own reality, being in reality, and enjoying life. And so it wasn't the easiest road that I went on. And I do totally understand that I chose my path and I chose my journey, because I know that I am here to help others to heal as well, because as I heal, I help others to heal. And so, just coming to that point that it, I had that strength to do it, and the know-how and even the guidance of doing it. So I'm truly grateful that I have gone through to really know and understand why I've gone through everything I've gone through, been everywhere I've been. And so it makes life a whole lot different. It makes the game a whole lot different. And coming to having a balanced nervous system where it's not like, oh my God, what's going to happen now? Worrying and fretting over life. So anyhow, we're going to go ahead and take a look at a couple of videos.
She grew up as a broken woman, taking on the role of a parentified daughter. She believed her role was to fix everything and everyone around her. She learned that love meant taking care of someone else at the expense of her own needs. Being a parentified daughter made her struggle with setting boundaries and feeling responsible for others' emotions. She didn't notice red flags or overlook them, 'cause a part of her was still the child trying to survive in dysfunction. She was confused about what she wanted and who she was. Her entire sense of self and self-worth was unclear. If only she had known earlier that there was a way out. A friend told me about the Live app. I was skeptical at first, but this app was different. I took Live-in's 3-minute quiz, which helped me understand my trauma triggers and take back control. of my life now. I am finally happy.
Well, that video is an advertisement for an app there, Liven, I think it is. So, the thing is that we are in a time where we are here to help this world to heal, that there are many here to help people to heal. Once we heal, we can help others to heal, and it will make our world much better because our world is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of us, our fears, our traumas, reactive abuse, complaining, all these things. It is just a shadow. And so by healing our inner and doing our inner work on our inner self, that it makes the world better. So healing, but that trauma does have this, people pleasing kind of ordeal, and, trying to help others and make others happy, and these type of things. And I truly have done that for many, many years, and just really came to find that they weren't even happy with me anyways, because that happiness is within them. And so, coming to, taking care of myself, and truly, universe, source, spirit, whatever you want to say, I was put in a position where I only had to deal with myself. And I know that is a journey that I did choose to go on. And so it was very different when everything was shut down and I only had myself to deal with and focus on. And so, really learning about myself and taking care of myself. And so, there are certain things that I do like implement in here in my daily life to really help me keep me balanced and centered. Breathing is a very good thing in helping to heal. And so I usually do that at least 15 minutes every day. And I take a bath with lavender salts once a week, and that's a self-care kind of thing because it just relaxes you. It's very good for your nervous system and balancing for sure. And so, I had quite a bit of time here this year being alone. And so it gave me that time to really heal and just take care of myself, and even connecting with nature and things. But setting boundaries, and that's some of the things is setting boundaries, setting healthy boundaries, and following my own boundaries as well. And like the red flags, like I didn't, I wasn't really aware of red flags. And once I become aware of it, then I really can see it and things. So, I'm very much aware of those things now. And so it just helps me, just being aware of the red flags of things, following, even when, even with myself, like I need to trust myself and do what I say that I'm going to do. And, taking control back over my own life. And that's truly what I have done here, is taking that control back over my own life. Letting go of everyone else's BS that, they think that someone else is going to save them. I'm sure that will work out for them, but it didn't work for me. And so, I have taken control back over my own life. And it's a big difference, a big difference. And so I'm calm, I'm centered, and I feel balanced, and I've set up routines to help keep me stable, because that's, some of the things is that those that's what those things do, is make you unstable. So, the narcissistic type abuse and control and yelling and screaming and stuff, it makes you unstable. And so creating that stability within myself and my life, which then comes out into my physical world. And so it's within all of us to heal. And there's many many people and many avenues of healing. And so, but nobody's going to do it for you. You can go to counseling and therapy, but if you're truly not, focusing on yourself, showing up for yourself, working on your goals and your behaviors and things, it's not going to truly help you. You have to put that inner work in on you. And so, and I've, gained a lot of tools, and I have a lot of tools to help me. And because I am here to help others to heal. So anyhow, we're going to go ahead and take a look at another video.
What type of people you need to be worried about? You need to be worried about the people that sit there every single day by themselves, healing. Every single day they're alone, healing themselves, finding themselves again after they lost themselves. They didn't go run to somebody like you did. They didn't go sit there and run to somebody and go manipulate somebody just to get comfort from them. No, they found comfort in their pain. They found comfort in misery. They found God. They found themselves again. These are the type of people you really need to worry about, because I'm going to tell you right now, these people are stronger than you ever could imagine. It takes a real soldier. It takes a real warrior to really go out there and go in this world by themselves once again, after they jumped out of a 10-year relationship, after they lost their job, after they've been manipulated and cheated on and lied to and just lost everything, and go find themselves once again. That's a real warrior. Now worry about them, because they're the real problem around here, and that's real.
Well, I thought that he had some really good insight and wisdom there, that it does take a lot of strength to not run to someone else for that comfort, for sure, and to face that pain and deal with it and things. And truly, as more and more people heal their inner selves, that outside world is definitely changing. It has a ripple effect, for sure. And so I'm part of that ripple effect. And so, things are changing. This world is changing, and we can either look outside of ourselves or deal with ourselves, go run into the next person to try to save us. And, that's the thing, when you see all the negative vibrations and stuff, that people are looking for that safety and security and love and those things. And you find it within yourself. And, he talked about finding yourself. And truly, that's the journey that I went on, is to find myself, because I did lose myself to all the traumas and the world and all these things, which religion is part of the world. And I lost myself within that thing, and looking to, something else that was going to save me, but no one was going to save me from, how I felt and the things I thought and the things I said, whining and complaining about life, and, yelling and screaming and having a lack mindset, all these things. And so came back around to find myself and truly connect with spirit. And when you truly connect with spirit, you see a whole lot clearer on things within yourself, within your life, and within people around you. It's amazing that I can find something out truly quickly, and people don't get away with stuff. They just don't. So, anyhow, we're going to go ahead and take a look at one more video.
It is dangerous being healed. Like, you better have something to add to my life, because if you start trying to bring me down to your level, I'm not going to fall for it. I don't give in to my fears of rejection and abandonment anymore. I don't feed myself lies about my self-worth being tied to your happiness. Yeah, it's dangerous being healed, because I have complete control over my own peace, and I know it. I'm going to set and enforce boundaries to ensure that you respect me. So your manipulation tactics of allowing your trauma to throw a pity party to pull at my heartstrings, it's not going to work. Your presence has to be better than my solitude, because my peace is your competition, not another person.
Well, I thought that what he had to say was a lot of inspiration and wisdom for sure, and that really when we do heal, we are dangerous. We do become dangerous to those people that want to manipulate and control others because of their own fears and their own traumas and those things. And so, letting go of the fear of rejection and things like, I'm probably better off by myself, really. So, really coming to have that self-love and that peace, that peace and that, I'm not going to let my peace be disturbed because of your BS. And, setting those boundaries for respect that, I'm not going to be yelled and screamed at. I'm not going to be told what to do and those type of things. And that doesn't mean being unreasonable, when you're in a relationship and compromising to some degree, but there's some things that aren't worth compromising on either when they're degrading you and belittling you as well. So be treated like a queen or a king. And so we need to be respectful towards one another and have a safe environment with ourselves and with others, and take responsibility for our actions and for what we're doing. And so, anyhow, we're going to go ahead and look at a few pictures that I have and come back and ask some questions and do a conclusion. As we heal ourselves, we become healers of others, and in so doing, we heal the planet. There is no work more sacred than this. As you heal, you naturally choose healing over coping and trauma bonding, affection over attention, boundaries over tolerating disrespect, and connection over attachment. You prioritize mutual support over codependency, intimacy over enmeshment, and internal self-love over external validation. A soul who has healed countless traumas alone and still carries a pure heart is not just any person. They are an alchemist of life's pain, turned it into strength. They are pure magic. Celibacy and abstinence are two of the most underrated healing, energy cleansing, and empowering paths. So really, those things have really come to help me that, as I heal, that I help the planet to heal, and that there is no more sacred work than to do that inner work and heal, to help the planet heal and help others to heal. And, letting go of like the trauma bonding and, really even being attached to things, people, places, and things. And on a spiritual level, people have really become just so attached to the physical world of things, and holding on to those baggages of things. Oh, my daddy, did this when I was a kid and whatever, whatever it was, or, and we carry those on throughout our whole lives, and people pass away holding on to those things. And then some think that they're going to go to heaven or hell, but they're holding on to all that stuff. And they got to come through. They got to transmute that energy into the higher frequencies. They got to, truly forgive and learn the lessons that, they were only a product of their own energies. And that's truly what it is, that they were looking outside of themselves as well. And, people do that, looking into religion, even that you're looking outside of yourself. And so when it's like, well, I'm guilty of these things as well, and, I need to heal and let that go and turn that pain into strength and just let it go and truly forgive. And it makes things a whole lot different. And, truly having celibacy is just a very powerful thing to do to help cleanse out those energies for sure. So we are going to go ahead and ask some questions and answers, Q&A. So what are the 5 phases of healing trauma? Safety and stability, remembrance and mourning, reconnection with self, reconnection with the world, and integration. How to release trauma trapped in the body: physical movement, breath work, mindfulness, and Pacific therapies. Can I heal my trauma without therapy? Yes, a combination of self-care, support systems, and alternative healing practices. What actually heals trauma? Plenty of rest, eat nutritious meals, practice mindfulness activities. And does crying release trauma? Yes. Activating nervous system promotes a state of calm and releasing stress hormones and toxins. I found that as I went on that healing journey, which is going to come out some with my 2023 story, is that I did go through where I did have these releases where I was just very emotional and things. And so letting go of those traumas. So, my conclusion is that if we want this world to be a better place, we got to heal. We got to create it within ourselves. Create that safety and stability within ourselves. And really do that inner work and that healing for sure. That nobody will do that healing for you. Raising up those vibrations and frequencies will change people that you go around. It truly will. As you connect with your inner self, it changes things where you connect to that spirit that's within you, and you just can see things a whole lot clearer when you do that. And so I've truly found that's what we have, we've been looking too much at the physical world and other people, places, and things to help us and save us, but nobody's going to do that. It is coming, it has to come from within us. We have to learn to love ourselves. We have to set those boundaries. We have to stop trying to make other people happy. They need to find their own happiness within themselves. You know, setting those boundaries of respect, that you're not going to yell at me. You're not going to flip out on me. And so when we do such a thing, we will change this world. You know, becoming emotionally intelligent. And so it takes work, it takes growth, it takes change. And so, you know, there's huge separations happening, and it's because people are healing. People are doing those inner works. They're becoming aware. And the people who are stuck and trapped in doing their same BS because they won't face themselves and their traumas, well, you know, there might come a day when they have nobody else to, you know, look at but themselves. That's what happened with me. So, you know, I looked at myself and I faced myself, and things are a lot better. And I could have just continued looking outside of myself. So it was a choice that, hey, you know, this is the time for me to work on me and get me together. And I did it. So I had everything. I have everything everyone else has. I could have found another man. I could have gone online. I could have gotten a TV and be looking at the TV, avoiding facing myself and doing that inner work. But I did it. And nobody will do it for you. I can only help people and guide them and give them wisdom and tools, but they're the ones who have to do it. They're the ones who have to find their inner happiness and inner peace within themselves. And if you say that you want to have peace in this world and you don't have it within yourself, you're only deceiving yourself. You have to find your inner peace with your life and the world. So that's my final conclusion. Healing will make things better in this world. Letting go of our fears and letting go of those traumas. So take what resonates. Remember, we're in an energy game. So what you put out, you get back. So if you're, you know, afraid and lack, you get that back. But you can renew your mind, raise up your consciousness and your frequency, and go into that I am abundant, I am successful, I am stable, and those things play out in your game of life. Setting those boundaries. Nobody's going to do this to me, and it will show up. So you have a God-given right to protect yourself, and you are the power, you know, of your own reality. So you can change it if you want. So I'm grateful that I put in the work that I have to change my life and change me and my own reality to become the person that I truly do want to be. And I am grateful for just having that renewed mindset and truly being aware. And I'm grateful for anyone who is listening and learning and growing and healing from me. And so if you want help with healing from those traumas and taking back your power over your own life, taking back control over your own life, you can reach out to me and I can help with the tools and the wisdom that I have gained for sure. So please like, share, subscribe, and the links and email are in the bio if you want to reach out to me. Enjoy your day and enjoy your life, because It is yours to enjoy. It is yours to thrive. Become who you need to be to thrive in your life. Love you. What is spiritual awakening? A spiritual awakening is when a person becomes aware of his real nature and own unique being. When this happens in your life, you will have a new sense of seeing things and the world around you. You will begin to trust life and use your inner voice when making decisions. You will be able to accept your emotions and really feel them, not repressing them through addictions and negative patterns. You will release the old pattern where you react in your life based on your traumas and old experiences. You will know that the same thing will not happen again because you attract what you want in life. You are able to release the old ways of thinking. When you experience a spiritual awakening, many questions will come into your mind and you will ask yourself a lot of questions because your ego will try to find all the excuses to keep you in fear and old patterns.
Isn't it strange how you'll never meet the version of you that lives in someone else's story? To some, you're heartless. To others, you're kindness itself. Some will remember your laughter. Others will never forget your mistakes. But none of them really know you. Not fully. They only know the version of you that crossed their path. You are not one person. You are 1,000 reflections in 1,000 different minds, shaped by moments you may not even remember. You can be a villain in a story you never read, and a hero in another, because we are all mosaics, broken and beautiful, shaped by the eyes that see us. And you don't get to choose which pieces they keep. But here's the truth. You do get to choose the version of yourself you wake up to every day. Because in the end, the only story that matters is the one you write for yourself.